My name is Keith Annis. I'm running for the Tarrant Regional Water District. The election is on May 9th. Early voting begins on April 27th. The Tarrant Regional Water District is basically the source for almost all people, the water that you drink and bathe in and water lawns with and all those sorts of things. The reason I'm running in this race, and there are three reasons. The first reason is water. They are responsible for making sure the water that we have is of sufficient quality. They are not doing that, in my opinion. If you go to their website, you will see pictures of people kayaking and inner tubing, and it looks very nice. And as you start to read into it, it says, you know, use your own judgment if it's really clean enough for you to participate in. And if you're not sure, you can go to this other page on our website and try and figure out this map to determine what the levels of pollutants are in the river at that time. And then, if you know what those numbers mean, you can go swimming. I think that information needs to be on the front page of the website, very clear. The numbers are this, and we would not swim. That's me. There are currently, back in 2011, a plan of 20 or 14 best management practices were recommended that would reduce the pollutants in our water by 30%. The best answer that I've been able to get was, yeah, we're working on that. And I look in the budget and I don't really see any evidence that they're working on that. So I want to make sure that they really are working on that. And maybe rolling in some of the other best management practices that were suggested but didn't make that final list. The second thing that really is important in this race is water. And in that regards, I mean enough water, because they are responsible for making sure that we have enough water. Does anyone here know what a stressed system scenario is?
Say it again.
Stressed system scenario.
No, for computers.
That's the way that the Tarrant Regional Water District describes climate change. When they are planning for how much water we are going to need in the future, they look at the past, and they don't take into consideration the fact that the past is not a good representation of what it's going to be like in the future. So in their most recent plan, their most recent water plan, they come up with three scenarios. One of them is if the past can be believed, and they spend many, many pages talking about that. And then they have the stressed system scenario, which they basically say, we don't think this is going to happen, so we're not going to worry about it. But if it does, we'll just do everything we were talking about 5 years earlier, and that will take care of it. I've been around government for a while. I think everyone here has been around government for a while. Does that sound like a reasonable approach to climate change? Let's just do everything 5 years sooner? I think they need to be working under the stressed system scenario today. And I think they need to start looking at temperatures based on at least from 2000, or if not 1995. They are going to start tracking temperature change beginning this year. This is when we're going to baseline as 2015. That's ridiculous. And the third thing that this race is about is water. The Tarrant Regional Water District is responsible for flood control. Now, that can mean lots of different things, but for the Tarrant Regional Water District, that means creating an island next to downtown Fort Worth in what was a lake, but is now an enhanced water feature, is how they describe it now, and building canals and doing a lot of things, including taking land with eminent domain. I'm not fundamentally opposed to the Trinity River vision, but I do have a whole lot of questions about it. I have questions about making sure that the mixed income housing that they are proposing actually happens. I have questions about what the schools in our city and what the roads near that project are going to be like when 10,000 new households are put in there. I'm still asking people if any of the city or Fort Worth ISD is ready for that. So far I've gotten, I don't think so. I'm also interested to know that, if you're promising that it's going to be the most sustainable development possible, really? And do I have faith that you're going to do that? Personally, I don't. And I think there needs to be a voice there to make sure they do.
That's right.
I'm also really concerned about the fact that this is roughly $1 billion project. Their goals for women, disabled, and minority-owned business contracts are 25%. I think that's probably a pretty good goal for white male business owners, 25%, and then disabled women and minority-owned businesses to get 75%, because that's probably a more accurate representation of this area. And And that 25%, again, the website's confusing. Some reports show that they've matched or exceeded it, and others say they haven't on any project. And that's something that someone needs to be looking at all the time and keeping their thumb on the pulse of that problem. And the final thing that I'm really concerned about is, part of the project is Gateway Park. And they're going to do amazing things to Gateway Park. Do you all know where that is? It's going to be beautiful. There's going to be a skate park and a water park and more trails and just all kinds of great stuff. But they're not doing that just for the benefit of the community. They're doing that because all of the water that normally is geographically supposed to flood the West 7th area needs to go somewhere. So they're going to route it around their island and direct it towards Gateway Park. Most of the people who live in the West 7th area are fairly well off economically. Most of the people who live near Gateway Park are not. This is that's White Hills Lake. This is a question of environmental justice. Do the people there know that if there is that event, that they're going to get flooded? And does the Tarrant Regional Water District have a plan for making those people whole again? I'm going to bet they don't. I'm going to bet those people haven't really been told that. I'm going to bet that they just think we're going to get a great park with a bunch of new things, and that's cool. And if that happens, the thing that's very important to me is to make sure that that park really is accessible to the neighbors of that park. Really means that the folks who live right around there feel like they can go in there, feel like they aren't getting harassed by TRWD police when they go there. Feel like that is somewhere that is a gym for them, not just another attraction for folks to come in who aren't from that neighborhood. Although if it happens, I think everyone should take advantage of it. So it's an interesting race. One side is going to spend $500,000. Another side is going to spend $500,000 or so. And I'm not going to spend $500,000. I plan on spending $1 million with your help today. I actually wouldn't know what to do if I had $1 million to spend on this race. Honestly, I couldn't think of a reasonable thing to do. They're going on air now on Fox and CNN. There have already been 2 push polls done. Mail will be coming out the wazoo. If you have a mailbox and you're in the district, expect to get lots of mail.